appeal of lace and its continued popularity, I think, comes from the fact that it's such a feminine fabric. Its delicacy suggests timeless decadence and luxury. It feels very special to wear something that looks crafted, almost handmade. People ask us, how can you still come up with new ideas after all of these years? And I always say, a piano only has 7 keys, but from those you can make endless variations of music. And it's exactly the same with lace. We see what happens in the wider world affecting what becomes popular in the world of lace, and that also influences the way we design.
Every lace design starts off as a hand-drawn sketch. You're working to a given height and width to fill with a repeating pattern. There's a flow to the design. Knowing what will work and what is possible is the inherent skill of a designer. Throughout the designing process, you have to remain conscious of the path of each thread.
You want to keep the eye moving all the time. Next is the thread run. The designer uses this to check that the design works by planning the path of the thread through the design. And this is really what separates a lace design from being just a pretty picture. It ensures that it can actually be made on the machine.
The colours represent different types of yarn which make up the different elements of the design. Now it's time to produce the computer-aided design, or CAD. The pencil sketch is scanned into the computer. We then draw over the top using a different colour for each type of yarn.
This is developed until it is ready to fill with textures. And over the years, the designer will have scanned in real lace samples to build up a library of lace textures. And we use these to create a realistic lace design. And this final design is what we show to the customer.
Once we know we're going ahead with a design, we begin the drafting process.
The first stage of drafting, known as sketching on, is where we transfer and enlarge the CAD design onto graph paper so that we can see what we're doing in more detail and with greater accuracy. The graph paper here is really important as it corresponds to the technical specifications of the pattern according to the machine that we know it will be knitted on.
Here, the draftsperson's skill and experience is vital. They use their knowledge of the way lace itself behaves to make adjustments to the design as it is sketched on.
Now this comes originally from the days when the entire drafting process would have been done on paper. So this technique, this heritage, it's all part of the legacy of Nottingham lace.
A final thread run now takes place to check everything works once again.
Now comes the computerised part. The draftsperson creates a set of instructions to enable the machine to knit the pattern. This information will determine the needle movement of each of the threads on the machine. We import our enlarged sketch into lace drafting software, and then we follow the shapes on this to mark in the route of each individual thread. And we do this for each element of the design in turn, and then the background net.
In the past, this would have been done by hand and could take a couple of weeks. Mistakes could mean hours or even days more work. Modern-day software allows us to make an authentic simulation. That visual is invaluable in helping us spot mistakes before it goes on the machine.
And what's the end result? A binary code. The design is represented by a series of numbers. Now, over the years, this has been on a card or a cassette, and now it's an electronic file. Once the manufacturer has this code, production of the pattern can begin. So what does it feel like to design a piece of lace and then see it brought to life? It's always rewarding to see a lace that I've designed on an actual garment. I think it must be like hearing a song that you've written being played on the radio.
It's really special to see the physical results of your work, especially because each person in our team, be it designer or draftsperson, has their own style or hand. And this means the final lace is completely unique and quite personal.